We'll get started. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for how to get an endless stream of referrals with our master sales trainer, Donnie Boivin. Thank you, Donnie, for joining us from Texas today. You can tell a little bit about yourself. I'll let you do the introduction on yourself.
Beautiful. Well, it's awesome to see everybody. And Camille, thank you so much for having me here. This is awesome to hang out with you guys. So Donnie Boivin, CEO and founder of the Success Champion family of companies. We have 6 companies all together, all virtual, and all run from my farm here in Texas. So I spent 4 years in the Marine Corps, 20 years in straight commission sales. My last career was with an organization called Sandler Training, and I was supposedly one of the top sales trainers in the world. I cuss, and I cuss a lot. So if you are sensitive, please put on earmuffs, okay? I don't want to offend, but that's just how I talk. So I don't know what it means to be one of the top. My honor, Heather, and thank you for making it worth it. I don't know what it means to be one of the top sales trainers in the country, other than I'm really good at flapping my gums in front of a room. So what I'm going to teach today, guys, is this is not a lecture. This is not a beat the shit out of you workshop. This is collaborative, but I'm going to give you 10 absolutely badass ways to create a massive amount of referrals in your business. I promise you that you're going to be blown away by what I'm fixing to show you and teach. So, but as we go through this, ask questions. I don't mind at all. There are dumb questions, but I'll just laugh at you if it's a dumb question and we'll just keep moving through it. Okay. So, but have fun with me, hang out with me, but make sure you have a pen and paper. All right. I'm done talking about me and what we do. Let's dive in and have a little bit of fun. So unmic really quick, because I want you to yell out what the answer is. What's the number one reason people do not get referrals? Why? Why don't they get referrals? What is it? Unmic and tell me. They don't ask. Number one freaking answer. Why don't people ask for freaking referrals? It's the dumbest thing on the face of the earth.
Fear.
Right? Fear is absolutely, survey says, number one answer, right? So I'm going to teach you ways to break this down so simple and so big bird style that you're going to be okay asking. All right. So number one, and we're diving straight in. You ready? Number one is you need to know specifically who the hell you're needing to be introduced to. Like, you've got to know them intimately, the characteristics, so you can tell somebody else exactly who you need to get to. And I have an acronym that you guys can use to help you wrap your head around what makes the people you need to be introduced to so unique. So that acronym is the word CAP, C-A-P. And that stands for characteristics, alternatives, and problems. Okay. Characteristics, alternatives, and problems. Okay. So when you think about characteristics, you need to think about things like names, titles, industries, company revenues, locations, number of employees, how long has an individual worked for a company. And I've got notes over here, so you're going to see me constantly looking off screen, grabbing my stuff, because it's a lot of information. I'd forget if I didn't look at notes. What books do they read? What influencers do they follow? Are they married? Do they have kids? How old are the kids? How old are they? Make literally a massive list of characteristics of people you're trying to get to. So there's some older, more seasoned folks in here. How many of you have ever heard of Harvey Mackay? Okay. All right. Well, you're definitely in the woo-woo healer space. Oh, Denise, thank you. There's one. So you need to Google Harvey Mackay 66. And I've heard he's actually expanded this list, but it's the most fantastic list of characteristics that you could ever desire to know about your clients, prospects, or people you're looking for. And it's a really cool PDF that you can quickly download for absolutely free on his site. He's still alive. I didn't know he was still alive. Dude's old as hell, but he's still around and kicking. But it's a phenomenal list of just characteristics that you can write down about all of the people you're looking for, okay? It's a good cheat sheet to have. The second one inside of there, the acronym is alternatives. And alternatives gets a little bit tough to sometimes figure out, but it's what are your ideal prospects, your ideal clients spending money on that they should be spending with you. So a funny story, I sold commercial printing for a number of years. Excuse me, sales training. I did sell commercial printing, but I was selling sales training at this point. And when I was getting ready to close a very, very large deal, the CEO of the company looked at me and said, Donnie, we can't move forward with the sales training. And I said, oh, what the hell happened? I thought this was going to work. I thought we were good to go. And he goes, well, I just spent the money on billboards. I said, excuse me? He goes, we just invested in 100 billboards across the US, and the almost $1 million we were going to spend with you, we invested in billboards. I'm like, are you shitting me? Are you serious right now? And he goes, no, I'm 100% serious. And I said, so instead of training your salespeople, you bet on hopefully somebody sees your billboard enough times and will come do business with your company. He goes, yeah, I think it'll work. So I started telling everybody, hey, if you know anybody spending money on billboards, that's a great introduction for me. Okay. So what I want you to think about is what are they spending money on instead of using you and your product or services? Okay. It's a really good indicator. So if people, like when I was doing sales training, if people were spending a lot of money on social media advertising, they were spending a ton of money on marketing, it was a great place for me to come in with sales training and actually teach them how to save a lot of money on marketing. Make sense? Okay. The third one is problems. What problems do you help your clients and customers solve? So think about it. Everybody you deal with has some sort of problem that you help them overcome. Like Amy Flores, I know she helps people, do retreats as coaches and consultants and the like. So she takes guys like me that have a good following of people and helps them take the off their plate. I don't want to schedule a retreat and be able to do all that stuff. She does all that, right? So her biggest problem she would solve for me is getting that off my plate. Right? When I was doing sales training, I taught people how to sell when their staff wasn't doing anything. So that was a problem I solved. So I could tell people, she does also help with special needs traveler. It's a beautiful thing, right? I could tell people, hey, look, bring me in. I will help your sales staff actually enjoy the process of selling. It was a problem I solved. So if you have these three things, characteristics, alternatives, and problems, you can sit across from somebody and say, I'm looking for a GSD. A GSD is a get shit done individual. This person is the person that their presence walks through the door before they do. This person is a leader wherever they go. They never sit on the sidelines. If there's a group of people that come together, they're going to be leading that room. They're the person that everybody flocks to and everybody wants to be around. I'm curious, as I described that person who's the ideal person I want to meet, how many of you, by a show of hands, said, I know exactly who that person is? How many of you know exactly who that GSD is, right? Right? When we get very specific on who we're looking for, it makes it really, really easy for other people to make these introductions and referrals for us. Make sense? How many of you think that if you were to actually just walk through CAP with somebody, you'd probably get a few referrals? If you walk them through all three of those, right? Pretty cool, huh? All right. The second one is called 4 boxes. All right. And can I share my screen? Yes, I can. Oh, can you give me share permission, Camille? And it's 4 boxes, and you guys are going to see me. If you click on the 3 dots on my name, it should say open sharing options. I'm going to show you a very funny way to get it. And for some reason, if the share screen doesn't work, I can walk you through it. So let's start on your sheet of paper.
I have you on pin, but I'll get it. So
okay. We'll start, and then as it opens up, I'll do it. But on your sheet of paper, I want you to draw a big box, put the plus sign in the center of it. So you have 4 boxes. Okay. So 1 big box, line, line. So you have 4 boxes inside a big box. Everybody with me? For my stream visuals, I'm trying to make it as easy as, oh, here we go. Whiteboard. Now y'all get to laugh at my really bad drawing. Look at this skill. Y'all are jealous of how awesome that is. All right, cool. So everybody got their 4 boxes. All right. In the top one, top left, is first name. Okay. Now, I described the GSD person, right, that I need to be introduced to. What I need from you guys is I need first name only of the person that came to mind when I described that GSD individual. Somebody give me a first name only of one of those people. Throw it out there. Quickly, throw it out there. First name only. Who was the GSD you thought of?
Matt.
Matt, beautiful. Give me another one.
Christine.
Christine, cool. Give me another one.
Susan.
Susan, cool. Give me another one.
Keith.
Keith?
Yes.
Beautiful. All right, 4 will work. So when throwing out those names, how much was it a threat? Did that feel like I was forcing you to do anything? Did that feel uncomfortable? Probably not, because I was asking for first name only. And studies have literally shown that when you ask for first name only, they're not overcommitting to anything, right? So they're really willing to give up that name. So the way you do this first box is you take Cap, you sit across from somebody and say, I need first name only. So I'm going to describe the people I'm looking to meet. As I describe the people, if a first name pops in your head, would you give me that name? And we'll put it in a box. You guys with me? Make sense? Okay. So first box, first name. Then you're going to make a list of those. Second box, how well do you know them? And if I type something wrong, just laugh at me, okay? How well do you know them? And you're going to literally ask them to rank these names by how well they know them. So they're going to say things like, I know Christine best, I know then Susan, then Keith, and then Matt. Cool? Simple. How well do I know them? Got it? Third box. How comfortable, I'm sure I misspelled that. I did. How comfortable are they introducing them to me? Right? Forgive the bad typing. Right? How comfortable would you be introducing them to me? So what you're going to do is get them to rank these people from how well they know them to how comfortable they are introducing them to me. And so they'll say things like, man, I know Matt, pretty well, but he's an ass. You don't want to meet that guy. So let me introduce you to Susan. I really like her. Then I'll introduce you to Keith and then Christine. Okay. Really, really simple. How well do you know them? Got it? And I know I've got my over the top analytical spellers going, oh my God, this guy can't type to save his freaking life. So for you people, I'm sorry. For everybody else, thanks for loving me. All right. Got it? We good? The last box is by when. When would you be willing to make this introduction, right? When would you actually introduce me? And they'll say things like, well, Susan, I'll do right now. I'll see Keith, on Thursday afternoon. I'll make the introduction then, and I'll send Christine an email introduction by Friday. Cool. Now what you're getting them to do is commit to when they'll actually make these introductions. And I always ask at this point, what happens if we get to Friday afternoon and I haven't seen this introduction? They're like, ping me, because, life gets busy and I've probably just forgot, but I'll absolutely get it done. Okay. This 4 boxes works really well because it gives them a structure to go by. Okay. To really make 4 boxes work amazing, when you sit down with somebody and say, hey, let's have a referral conversation, tell them you want to open the door for them first. Take them through 4 boxes first. Teach them CAP and then walk them through 4 boxes. And what happens when you can give a lot of referrals to somebody else? What do they automatically want to do for you? They absolutely, right? They want to give it back to you. So when you take them through first, they're like, holy hell. And you're like, cool. Now let's go through it. Does that make sense? How many think you get a bunch of referrals if you did the CAP program or in 4 boxes? Right? I think 4 boxes would be pretty cool, right? It's pretty simple and it works really, really well. All right. Number 3. Am I going too fast, too slow? Are we good? Good. We're keeping up. Beautiful. Number 3 is called 5 key places you should be looking for referrals that you're probably not. Okay. 5 places that you should be looking for that you're not. Number one, who gets paid when you get paid? So this is always a funny one for me. So one of the things I always ask my clients and people to do is write down a list of every vendor they work with. So you think about your banker, your credit card processor, your health insurance, your life insurance, your property and casualty insurance, your painters, the house, the roofers, anybody that when you make money, you pay money to, your VAs, your vendors, all of these people. Who do you pay when you get paid? I have a philosophy, and it's really, really simple. I'm not doing business with you if you're not a champion of my business. If you're not willing to open doors for me, I'm not going to do business with you. So it's really simple. Every vendor I work with is a referral partner of mine. And they're going to know that as we get engaged and get going in business, at some point when we're both happy with the services rendered, we're going to sit down and have a referral conversation of who you can introduce me to. How many of you have sat down and had referral conversations with your vendors? It's an amazing thing to think about when you start talking to your vendors about opening doors for you, because it behooves them to help grow your business. Why? Because the more money you make, the more money they get to make as well. Okay. So first one is who gets paid when you get paid. Number two, in the 5 places, is who's already working with your best clients. Once upon a time, I joined the Greater Fort Worth, Texas Home Builders Association while doing sales training. I didn't give a damn about building homes, right? But there was a lot of trades, plumbers, roofers, siding people, window people that are all trying to sell these home builders. These home builders all had my ideal client. I joined the association and I told every home builder, look, I don't have anything to sell you, but I'd love to buy you lunch. And what I did is I made all these home builders my best friend. Why? Because now I'm best friends with all the home builders. Everybody wanted to be around me because all the home builders were my friends. Okay. So what I want you to think about is who's got the business already, who's got the ideal clients that you want to work with, that you don't want to sell your things to, that you just want to make relationships with. Make a list of those people and go make referral partners. So think about when I did sales training, ad agencies had the ideal companies, lawyers had the ideal companies, CPAs had the right companies that they were clients of them. I would go make these people my best friends, and we do family trips and things together because they already had my clientele. Make sense? Number 3, who have you sent referrals to in the past? So think about it. We've all made introductions. We've all made referrals somewhere. Who have you referred to in the past? And when's the last time you sat down and talked with them? You should have a system inside your company that says, excuse me, that says you will sit down with your people you've referred every 30 days is best. Once a quarter is okay. And you need to create a system that every 30 days or once a quarter, you're sitting down and following up with everybody you can send a referral to. And it sounds like, hey, sent you over a referral. I wanted to check in and see how that referral was. Did everything go? Was it a right referral? And see if, there's anything else you might need. And once again, what happens when you give somebody a referral? They want to refer you back. Right. So when you come back and you check in with them, odds are they're like, you know what? I've been meaning to call. I've got so-and-so that you need to meet. Right. Because you're already top of mind. Okay. So who have you referred to in the past? The next one, number 4, is who sent you referrals in the past? Who's already referred you? And how often should you follow up with them? And it's the same thing. Every 30 days is best. Once a quarter at minimum, but you need to have a system that reaches out, whether it's personal reach out or automation, that says, hey, just wanted to say thank you for the referral. Here's the results of that. Here's what came from that. And I just really wanted to say thank you. And then want to know if we could set up a conversation where I could open up some doors for you. And you flip the system and you take them back through Cap and Foursquare. Makes sense? Right? The last one, number 5, is your current clientele. How many of you actually have a system that sits you down with all of your current clients and has a referral conversation. And you should be. And then that referral conversation starts at the beginning of the sales process. And it sounds like this. Hey, Heather, I'm so excited that you're coming to do business with us. And I want to make sure we pour all of our time and effort and energies into your company. We're going to spend about 80% of our time making sure you get exactly what we offered for your business. But to do that, it pulls me out of the street to do a lot of prospecting, a lot of cold reach outs and the likes. So at some point, when you've gotten exactly what I've promised you will get, and you've gotten the ROI on your investment, I'd love to sit down with you and have a referral conversation about who else you'd know that's as fun as you to work with that you might be able to introduce me to. If you set the stage for every client in your onboarding process to have that conversation, when you go to ask for a referral conversation, and be like, oh yeah, we talked about this at the beginning, right? You set the stage. And if you haven't set that stage with your clients, reach out to them now and say, hey, I've loved working with you. It's been a great time. Are you open if we sit down and have a real referral conversation about other companies that you might be able to introduce me to? Okay. So 5 places you should be looking for referrals that you're probably not. Make sense? Think those are helpful? Cool. Keep rocking and rolling. Number 4. And I'm sorry, I'm going to hit you fast because I want to make sure we get these all in. Okay. Number 4 is creating a board of directors. And this is a powerhouse move. Okay. A board of directors. So and I'm not talking like a nonprofit board or a Fortune 500 board. I'm talking about a group of badasses that are willing to open doors for each other. So once upon a time, when I was selling sales training, I had a wealth management company, a fax machine and copier company. I had a beverage company, a commercial insurance company, and there was one other person in there. What we would do is we would sit down once a week and we would make out a list of 5 to 10 companies. And we would say, okay, we're all going after the same size business. Here's the companies we're going to target this week. Let's go after them. And all of us would go after these same companies. And the deal was, if one got in, they would try and bring the rest of us along for the ride. If somebody got an appointment, the rest of us would try and get an appointment and set it around the same exact time as their appointment. How cool is it if you're in there getting ready to do a sales call and you pass your buddy in the hallway that's also there selling something completely different at the same time. And we do things be like, oh, Jason, great to see you, dude. I didn't know you were going to be here today. And now you're making cross the hall conversations and introductions. And as a collectively from different industries, you're going deep and wide into companies. So what I want you guys to think about is who are people that sell similar products and services, right, to my same type of clientele. How can we come together so we can make introductions and referrals for each other? So you can say, if I get into this company, if I bring this person on, they can bring me to the table. And here's the trick with this, guys. You got to have people that can actually sell on that board. If they can't sell, they're going to bring everybody else down. So if they're not winning, if they're not bringing in new people, it's going to affect the entire group. So you got to have only badasses on this that actually know how to get into companies and know how to set appointments and everything else, because that combined effort, you will do we did millions upon millions of dollars of business because we were literally collectively going into these companies. Board of directors makes sense, right? You just need to put some badass structure to it. Okay. So that's number 4. Number 5 is to know your numbers. Okay. We still good on pace? We're not too fast. We're good. Cool. All right. Know your numbers. If you're not measuring it, you can't figure out what to fix, how to find out if it's successful. You can't figure out how to move forward. So you got to know your numbers. So I think there's 3 key things when it comes to referrals you must absolutely be tracking at all times. Number 1, referrals given. Referrals given. How many of you track how many referrals you give to other people?
I don't like doing numbers at
Very
all.
few. Very few, right? Right. So this is the most powerful thing you can track. And I can tell you how successful your business is going to be by the number of referrals and introductions you give out. And if you're not giving out any, you're an ass. Okay. This is the game of helping and growing other people's businesses. Okay. You don't give referrals to gain anything. Anybody heard that stupid ass giver's gain philosophy? It's the dumbest thing on the face of earth. You don't give to gain. You give because it's the right damn thing to do. Okay. Right. So you need to be tracking and set a goal each week of how many referrals you will give out to other people. And to be able to give referrals, you got to be out selling. You got to be out meeting new people. You got to be out networking. You got to be out amongst the people. And if you're focused on getting other people referrals, you're going to be having so many business development conversations, your world's going to explode. But you got to get in the game of how can I refer other people today? Okay. Second thing you need to be tracking is referrals received. How many referrals you're getting in? There's only 2 reasons, really, 3 at most, why you're not getting referrals. Number 1, you're not asking. Number 2, you're an asshole. Number 3, you're coming across like a sleazeball salesperson. Okay. It's the only reason you don't get referrals. Right. It's nothing else outside of that. So if you're not getting referrals, it's one of those 3 things. And let's just hope it's because you're not asking, you're not the other 2. Okay. But seriously, people love giving referrals and introductions. So you need to, it's a way to healthily look at your company to understand how many people are introducing or putting your name out there in front of others. And then the last thing you need to be tracking is virtual coffees. How many meetings am I having a week with people, and what are they leading to? And people often ask me, well, how many virtual coffees, how many meetings should I have? A virtual coffee is just 2 people on Zoom meeting each other for the first time. Okay. And people ask me all the time, well, how many virtual coffees should I have? I'm like, don't try and keep up with me. I do 5 to 8 virtual coffees a day. In between trainings, meetings, conversations, most people should be doing 5 to 10 a week. Okay. I'm very ambitious. I got big dreams. We're going to be changing the world, and I don't have time to not be meeting new people and changing and impacting their lives. So we're going to go big. So we're going to run like hell. Okay. So, but for you, you should be doing 5 to 10 virtual coffees a week, growing your business and really diving and pouring into people. And people ask me, how do I track this? I don't give a shit. Break out an Excel spreadsheet, put the 3, put the days down to the left-hand side and just fill it in, do check marks and everything. But you need to know your numbers at any point of how many referrals you give out, how many referrals you receive, and how many virtual coffees you're doing. Does that make sense to everybody? Cool. So know your numbers. Number 6, still running and gunning. Everybody still good? Cool. Do me a favor, really give me a temperature check, and in chat put a 1 if this meeting sucks, 10 if this meeting absolutely is rocking, you're getting what you want. So I want to know 1, the meeting sucks, 10, we're doing all right. Just pop them in there. 11, that's like that universal woo-woo spiritual number, right? Cool. All right. Groovy. Number 6, the hit list. All right. The hit list is a lot of fun. How many of you have a list of the top 10 or top 25 ideal clients you need to be introduced to? Brilliant. Lee, you and I are going to be friends, man. You just keep raising your hand, brother. I appreciate it. You at any given time need to have a specific targeted list of people that you would love to have as clients. And I'm not talking about the characteristics we talked up in CAP. I'm talking specific individuals inside of companies and businesses. And if you got that list, how cool is it to sit across from somebody and go, you know what, here's my top 10 list of companies or people I need to be introduced to. Do you happen to know anybody on this list? And what you're going to find is people will take your list. I have a top 25 rolling at any time. People will take your list and go, you know what, I actually know Sam Smith, or I know Sally Jones. And you're going to be blown away by when you hand a list to somebody and they go, yeah, I actually know that person. Let me see if I can reach out. It's been a few years before, and see if I can introduce you. Had a buddy of mine jump on LinkedIn. He said, back when you did sales training, I know a company named Salesmark was one of your clientels. Are you still in touch with James Sellers, the CEO of the company? I said, well, yeah, actually, I mean, I haven't talked to him in a couple of years, but he's a great guy. He goes, my brother just applied for his company. Would you be okay making an introduction? I said, sure, let me try it. So I reached out to the president of the company and I said, hey, a buddy of mine I have a lot of respect for, is an amazing kick-ass dude. His brother just applied for his company. I don't know anything about his brother, but if he's anywhere to the level that Jason is, you'd be a fool not to sit down and at least have a conversation with them. James immediately came back to me and said, well, what's his name? Put his name to the top of the list. The guy was hired 2 weeks later. And I'm not saying he was hired because I did anything other. I put some validation behind a name. Does that make sense? When you have that hit list, guys, and you give it to other people, it churns in the brain housing group and allows them to start thinking about, maybe I don't know anybody in this list, but maybe I know other industries and companies and things you should be introduced to. Hit list makes sense? Rock on. Number 7. Oh, the craziest ask. Craziest ask is one of my absolute favorite ones, but I got to tell you the story to do it. So selling sales training, I was going after the largest contract in my life. There was literally 4,000 salespeople across America that were going to be a part of this program. And I'll let you kind of figure out the math. Each one of those salespeople was worth about $75,000 worth of training coming into our company, right? Massive multi-million dollar deal. We went through days and ongoing of sales conversations and everything to land this contract. I thought everything was moving right, and I thought we would landed this thing and it was going to be just a game changing for their company and for ours. Last day, we're getting ready to sign the contract. CEO of the deal looks at me and goes, Donnie, we have a problem. I said, oh, what happened? He goes, we're not moving the deal forward. I said, oh my God. I mean, I lost all tact and composure at this point. And I said, what happened? And I said, I thought we were done. I thought this was going. He goes, well, the board decided that we're going to move the funds in a different direction. We're not going to move forward with this. And I said, I got to be honest, I'm completely shocked. I was not expecting this at all. But I'll take my no like a man. And I appreciate that. If you'll do me a favor, who do you know that is a similar size company, has the same amount of salespeople, that is generally with the similar issues that you have, that I should be talking to? And that CEO looked right at me and goes, you know what? You're hired. I said, what? He goes, we're hiring your company to do this contract. And I said, wait, you just told me no. What the hell just happened? He goes, well, don't blow it now. But he goes, I need my salespeople doing what you just did. He goes, I told you no over a multi-million-dollar deal. And instead of getting pissed off and storming out of the office or doing anything, you asked me, or had the courage to ask me for a referral. Nobody's ever done that to me. Let's do it. And we move forward. The craziest ask is after every no you get, ask them who you should be talking to. Ask them for a referral. Now, it doesn't mean that they're going to do business with you, right? But they've never had it happen before. I do this on cold calls. Somebody says, hey, you know, we're not a fit. Cool. I appreciate that. Who do you know I should be talking to? And you'll get some funny answers. I had a CEO once upon a time go, you know what? I just had this young punk ass kid call me the other day and I got his information right here. Will you call his company and teach him how to do a fucking cold call? I'm like, all right, let's go figure that out. Right. But every no you get, have the courage to ask for a referral. You'll be blown away. You're going to get a lot of laughs. You're going to get a lot of no's. But every once in a while, you're going to get a badass win. Make sense? Number 8. After a thank you. How many of you have ever had a client say, God, this is amazing. I love everything you do. Anybody ever had that happen to them? Right? How many of you in that moment go, we'll go woo-woo way. I received that. Anybody like that? I'm learning, right? I received that, right? And then turn around and go, you know what? You're a lot of fun to work with. I'd love to work with more fun people like you. Who do you know that's as fun as you are, that will put in the time and energy like you do, that I should be talking to? Anybody do that now? Right? It's beautiful. It's a great move to get the doors open. And what you're going to find is that, oops, I got a, cool. And I have a cheat sheet for you that I can copy and paste for my notes. So you have an exact way to follow up with people. So feel free to steal that. And the trick with this is that after every thank you, literally respond the way they respond to you. If they send a text them back that message. They send an email back that message. If it's on the phone, have that script close by so you can kind of wing through it. Don't read the damn thing. Okay. Don't sit there and go, you have been a lot of fun to work with. You're our kind of people. Wing it. All right. Put it in your own damn words. Okay. But get them back and you're going to be amazed. I taught this class to a group of business owners, and a gal that was running an insurance company right then and there. She sent this to her staff and said, after every client thank you we get, we send this message. During the training, she unmiked and goes, son of a bitch, Donnie, you're an asshole. And I said, what'd I do? She goes, I just had my staff do that, and we just landed 2 more introduction, appointments because they got a thank you and sent it off, and the gal made just 2 referrals for us. Okay, this works really, really, really well. Makes sense? Number 9. Number 9 is host a workshop. Okay. How many of you think there was value provided so far today? We did all right. Oh, I'm more than just a pretty face. We're doing okay. Okay. So you guys should be doing things like this all the time. How many of you are hosting workshops on LinkedIn right now? Fix that. LinkedIn, from your LinkedIn page. Planning it. Beautiful. That was the first time you didn't raise your hand, Lee. I'm a little disappointed in you. Oh, thank you, John. You should be out on LinkedIn from your company page hosting events. Here's a beautiful thing. It costs nothing to host events. Here's another cool thing. You get to invite every contact you have up to 1,500 people a day to attend said event. We've done it where we've had over 200 people register and 60 people show up the day of. You just need a really cool name. How to create an endless stream of referrals. Is that an okay name for a workshop? Right? It usually works really, really well. So you got to find what would work in your world. Like Amy Flores, just because I know her, could 100% do events, how to plan your own retreats. And, then you just start targeting all your contacts on LinkedIn and get them to come. And then you spend time teaching. Don't do the stupid clip funnels, webinar bullshit that nobody gives a damn out. Come in and do what I've done and teach. Give them real value. Okay? Pour into people. And guess what? They will want to pour back into you. So you can do the same thing, on Meetup. The difference with meetup.com, if you've never been there, is you can't invite your followers to come be a part of it. Okay. LinkedIn, you can invite your actual followers. And you just drop a Zoom link in there and you start teaching and training. I've gotten so many referrals from other workshops or people coming in and joining one of our companies and working with us. It's an amazing way to just get some phenomenal information. And number 10 is get your asses to the Badass Business Summit. The Badass Business Summit is an event we're hosting September 23rd through the 25th in Arlington, Texas. It is live and in person. We have 17 of the most amazing speakers, from your spiritual woo-woos to your badass business folks. I've got Laura Franco, who runs Brave Healer Productions. She has 18 bestseller books, and she literally only writes books with healers that are changing the world. Just amazing. She'll be there speaking. I have Kevin Hunter going to be there. He's got 350,000 subscribers on YouTube and makes $5,000 a day off of YouTube, and is going to teach how do you get your YouTube channel rocking and rolling. I've got Sean Crane going to be there, and Sean did 5.5 years in prison for a crime he didn't commit, turned his life around through Toastmasters of all things, and now is impacting and changing the world with the stories and helping others really go big and go for it. I've got health coaches going to be there. I've got sales trainers going to be there. It is networking. It is pure badassery. As a gift for Camille, for everybody who's hanging out with us or watching us, I'm offering a 20% discount on tickets to get there to the event. Okay. And so you can go to badassbusinesssummit.com. Hold on, I'll put a link in chat.
What's want to add that I'm actually going to this. And so I'll see you guys there too. And this was before I signed up, before he offered to do any of this.
She did.
So I didn't get the discount. But I will be there if any of you guys are there. So we'll make sure that we meet up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you guys use the code, The Natural Life, when you check out, you'll get $40 off of your tickets to come to that.
Ooh, I didn't even know that. Thank you.
You're very
That's
welcome.
huge. Thank
You're very
you.
welcome. So ticket prices are $197. The hotel rooms are $129 a night. So with your coupon code, you're paying $157. And then your hotel rooms, is only $129 a night. It'll be a lot of fun. Would love to see you guys there. Okay. Come hang out with us and learn from some of the best in the game. But 10:45, so we got 15 minutes to stump the trainer. Feel free to open the mics, ask what other questions you want. Hit me with anything from sales, networking. I'm happy to sit here and answer and give you guys any information. But one thing, when we get about 5 minutes ago, I want to hear lessons learned. So is there any questions or anything that you guys have, or something I need to explain further, dive into more, anything you guys want to hit me with? I need at least one brave soul to ask a question. Go ahead, Heather.
So in trying to process it all, it's I feel like I have to shift my brain, like from a kind of a B2B to a more like, my clients or just individuals coming for like a Reiki session or an individual coaching session. Do you feel like you're talking more B2B, or is it just I need to sit with this and shift?
You just need to sit with it and shift. All of this works phenomenal in a B2C world. Take things like your hit list and start thinking about who are the best referral partners that I should be talking to. So chiropractors, doctors, other health practitioners, coaches, consultants. What's that list of people that you need to be talking to that are already working with your clientele? That becomes your hit list. So take this all and pour it straight at the B2C game, and you'll be amazed. Think about other business owners that you can sit across from and take them through CAP and Foursquare. If you're trying to get to the consumer, all of these programs work the same way. And, when I said I'm looking for the GSD people, that was individuals, right? I need those individuals people. And by the way, if those were real names you guys brought up, see you, Denise. If those were real names and real people that you think I should meet, I would love to meet them. Connect with me on LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever. Send a message. I want to meet them. I need more of those people in my life. So does that help, Heather?
Yes, thank you, Donnie.
Brilliant question. What else?
Johnny, I have so much of what you've indicated here is very affirming, because a lot of this I do it. Most of it was just intuitively. What do you do because I do a lot of referrals, and I have a lot of people who refer me. I mean, it keeps me busy. I barely even have to promote anything because I'm jumping just to keep up. But when I do a referral, I've had one of them in particular that really bombed.
It was just a bad referral?
I mean, it made a mess. What do you do?
You go back and you inform the person that sent the referral. I have more respect for my referral partners if they come to me and say, Donnie, you know what? I really appreciate that referral. Can I help you understand why I passed this on to somebody else? Or can I help you understand what happened with the situation if it went south? And just be honest and upfront, but fall on the sword. It's always your fault, guys. So if a client deal goes south, it would sound like this. Hey, Lee, let me explain what happened with Bobby. We had a meeting scheduled. Things went south. I screwed up and came across like a salesperson during that meeting, and it didn't go so well. My absolute apologies, nothing but respect. But I also understand if you never want to put your brand in the line and refer me again, I just wanted to let you know what happened. Okay. Be honest, be upfront, and own it. Because it's never, guys, there's no such thing as a bad prospect. There's no such thing as a bad client. It is always our fault. Because if they're a bad client, it's our fault because we brought them on in the first place. and we agreed to do business with them. Okay. Does that make sense, Lee? Does that answer your question? Cool. Any other questions? Brilliant. This is how I love to finish. Oh, go ahead, Camille. Go ahead.
I just want to add one thing, because most of our members are on this line, but because I'm hearing you say it, it's what I say all the time, that it's really important to build the relationship with people, not just to be, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. And I think there's so much, those free networking groups out there that people are jumping on, and it's really not serving you all the time. It's so much better. Like, one of the things that we do as members is we have a member gathering where it's kind of an unstructured conference, but the point of it is to meet people and know them more deeply, right? And spend the time having lunch or taking a hike or doing something, because I think business is built out of that business structure. It's
100%.
Right. It used to be built on a golf course. Sometimes it's built on Zoom, but it's built outside of that business structure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I just wanted
Well
to say
said.
that.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Let's go around. And what I'd love to hear from all of you is, what's your biggest lesson learned from this? What is your biggest takeaway that you're going to actually apply to your business and take action on? So I'm going to ask you to have courage to unmic and answer. And look, I tell who people are like, oh, fuck it, I'm not unmicing, I'm out. I'm running. So if you're sticking around with us, I'd love to hear it. And Miss Meryl Hayton, I believe I have you first, my dear.
It's asking for the referral. I mean, I have done it, but I could do more of that.
Love it.
Sure.
Love it.
Yeah.
Miss
Thank
Heidi
you.
Rome.
Yeah, I love the LinkedIn thing, to tap into LinkedIn and just get on there and teach. I love that. Thank you.
Beautiful. Love that. Susan Marco.
Yeah, thank you. So I easily build relationship. It's not hard for me to do, but I really appreciate the CAP idea, like that structure of having those specific things to be clear and know what it is that I'm looking for and what I'm asking for from my clients. So
That's
thank
awesome.
you for that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Miss Allison Yukon.
I really like the hit list
Awesome.
idea. Yeah.
Awesome.
It's awesome.
Beautiful. Aaron Baker.
Yes. I really like the crazy ask.
Mm.
I'm kind of excited for a no, so I can use it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Miss Michelle Clifton.
Well, you've introduced me to a lot of things that I, haven't ever thought of before, because I play Tibetan singing bowls. But I love craziest question and making a hit list and basically starting to structure things more than I've ever thought to do before. So
Beautiful.
thank you for being here.
You're very welcome. Thank you for that. Lisa Warner.
Yeah, really for me, it's just the getting in that mindset of starting to ask and, keeping that at the forefront.
Awesome. Awesome. John Donnelly.
Yeah, I loved it all, Donnie, especially the board of directors idea. It's a fantastic idea. Loved it. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. And that board of directors works extremely well if you get the right people. Is it Junie or Johnny? I'm sorry.
Yes. I like the idea of having a follow-up list in the end, make the effort to do the flow. I'm kind of doing the referral, and also a lot of people that I met at food shows and stuff, people do refer to me as well. And we kind of, but I don't follow up with the momentum, but I think your idea of having the numbers and also making the effort every 30 days, it's like, it's so simple, but it never dawned on me that I should always follow up.
Yeah, it's huge. Awesome. Love that. Miss Ruth Ratliff. Sorry. I almost called you Daniel Ratcliffe.
That's okay. Well, it speaks to what I speak about is don't be afraid to be authentic. Share
Absolutely.
your heart with people.
Beautiful. Love that. Some of the names moved around on me. Miss Chris Peacock.
So many are helpful, but following up with people who I've made referrals to is great, and talking to my own vendors, that hadn't occurred to me, so that's awesome.
Beautiful. Andrea Perazzi.
Hi, Perazzo.
Oh, even better. That's way prettier.
There were, like others, lots of things, but I think, and I hope this isn't my Sicilian showing through, but the hit list. Sorry, joking.
Honey, your Sicilian showing. I'm just saying.
No, that was really a good, and of course, when you're listening to something like this, one thing leads to another, and I really need to practice saying thank you to those, in writing, saying
sure.
thank you to those that I have worked with.
Love that. Love that. Lorraine, are you around? Alan? 3, 2, 1. Lexi, are you around? No.
Yes, I have,
beautiful.
I have a noisy child here with me.
It's all right. It's real life. So lessons learned, Lexi.
I think just defining exactly what I have to offer that's valuable to my ideal client. That's what I took away from this.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Sandy Townsend, are you around?
Yes.
Beautiful.
I really liked, thank you for this. I like the build relationships and know my ask. And I really like the board of directors. That was something really different for me. And I really liked it.
Beautiful.
So thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Anna Sandbank, are you around?
Yes, hi.
How are you?
Thank you. This was really excellent. I appreciate it. Definitely areas related to asking overtly. Asking comes to mind from them, and having direct targeted questions to help support that referral process. People who say no or who are not necessarily interested in services. So
Love
thank
that.
you.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Mary Ellen?
Yeah, this was great. Thank you so much, Donnie. I came on a little bit late from a yoga class, so didn't have my notepad. So I'm going to go back, and I really want to focus on the cap and the 4 boxes. And I think, sharing that with other colleagues that are in business too, as a give will be great. So thank you.
You're very welcome. Annie, Kristen, Grimmy, and there it is.
Yeah, Anne is fine. Thanks.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Sorry, I'm off camera. I'm actually sick at home.
Poor thing.
Sorry for that. Didn't mean to be disrespectful.
You're totally fine.
Yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, for me, I think it was also like the board of directors as well as know your numbers. I never really thought of like tracking the referrals that I have given. So I think just kind of like keeping track of that, and also yeah, just keeping it on a list. And I think that can be very powerful.
Awesome. Awesome. Elizabeth Wallace or Karen Sammer?
I am here.
Beautiful.
So thank you so much for this. This was amazing. Number one, thank you for the discount that you're offering us for the Badass Summit. I'm going to have to look into that. And also the LinkedIn opportunity. I had no idea that you could do that on LinkedIn. And so that was really eye-opening, and I love it. And the fact that you can just invite everybody and do everything within your own profile or your business profile. I think that's incredible. So thank you so much for all this good information. I really appreciate
Very welcome. Very welcome. Did I miss anybody? Did I not get anybody? Oh, sorry, Lee. Go, please. Super.
Thank you very much, Johnny. Thank you for your generosity and your insightful presentation. The one I never thought about is having a retreat weekend. That would be really a blast with what I'm doing with the sacred geometry, artwork, meditation, etc. What a fun.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to me how one of the things I love about these meet and greets or these exchanges is that I think I'll have thought of it, and then there'll be something that's right in front of my nose, like right under my nose, that and I'll go, oh my, of course. But anyway.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Guys, you can find me on LinkedIn, Facebook. If you type in either Donnie Boivin or Success Champions, I have a Facebook group that's just called Success Champions. Come hang out. We do things like this all the time. Miss Camille, thank you so much for this opportunity. I love hanging out with all you crazy people. Thank you for hanging out with me. And if I can do anything for you guys, send me a private message. Would love to help out. Come into my world. I'll happy to help you any way I can. So thank you, Camille.
Thank you. Thanks so much for doing this masterclass and being a part and sharing your wisdom. I really appreciate it.
So, have a badass day, everyone.
Thank you,
Nice to meet
Donnie.
Thank you so much. Take care.